positioning his forces in play. He's letting Savior fall into the honey pot. Savior going in trying to see if there's an expansion, and Free's got another observer. It looks like Savior's actually trying to set up an expansion of his own, get some forces up there. His Ultralisk unfortunately getting caught. Ultralisk not speed upgraded, and looks like that Ultralisk is going to get taken down for Savior. Savior's still trying to run away with the Ultralisk. And Savier's now got the Overlords in. He's got a decent number of forces. He's got an Ultralisk Zerglings as well as a Defiler up at that expansion at the 1 o'clock position, so he should be able to defend it. Meanwhile, it looks like Free's committed himself to an attack at Saviour's front door, realizing that Saviour's forces are not at home. Saviour's got a swarm up above the Sunken, but obviously that's not going to help the Sunken because buildings don't get aid from the swarm. And Savior, really, he could have been better off with a plague rather than that first swarm. And Savior really doesn't have a lot of forces here. Now finally the plague goes off, catching some of the Zealots, but Savior just doesn't have any forces in there. He's got a couple of Zerglings and an Ultralisk fighting, but he's really taking massive damage to his main force because he committed so many of his forces, and because of Free's observers position all around the map. That's what gave Free excellent scouting information. So Savior not playing a bad game of StarCraft, but it certainly looks like Free is going to be able to level this series now because he's killed Saviour's 3 hatcheries at that middle expo, and I don't think Saviour's going to be able to recover from that. I think it's too much of a blow to Savior. Savior trying to expand, trying to take down that expansion, put up an expansion at the 1 o'clock base, and unfortunately as a consequence losing his expansion at his off expo, and looks like Free's going to probably walk from this expansion straight into Savior's 6 o'clock expansion. Free has still got a massive number of High Templars and Archons and Zealots there, and Savior is unable to finish off those forces while Free continues to pound away at Savior. Savior's having to commit all of his forces to try and take that back. He's brought his forces obviously back from the expansion at the north, but he's continued to lose his forces, and Free continued to conserve his High Templar and morph them into Harkons. Savior not able to pick those High Templar off, unfortunately. And again, a feature of the play, we saw July so effectively waste his opponent's High Templars on this very map. I think it was against Best, I think in the second game, I believe, of the OSL finals, that July was so effective in delaying and killing those High Templar, and meanwhile a couple of shuttles out for Free as well. So Free in a comfortable position. Now he's completely wiped out that base. The off expo of Savior's killed pretty much all the buildings there. He's probably not going to be able to take down the well-defended base at the 6 o'clock expansion because he just doesn't have enough units left. He doesn't have enough reinforcements. But he looks like he's got another army, I think actually, or unless he's taken another expansion just at the off expo of the 6:30 base, and I think Free has taken expo there, and meanwhile Free's gotten about 5 Zealots into that undefended expansion at the 1 o'clock base, and that expansion that Savior committed so many resources to, and it was a bit of a blunder. And again, the key was the scouting, the key was the observers that Free had positioned in critical parts of this map, which allowed him to sense Savior's movements and allowed him to really second guess his opponent, and that was a great maneuver by Free, catching Savior off guard and barreling down the ramp when Savior just didn't have enough resources to defend. Savior now coming in trying to do a counter at that off expo of the 6:30 expansion. Unfortunately for Savior, there's a Reaver, High Templar, and bundles of cannons waiting for him as a welcoming committee, rolling out the Psystorm carpet for Savior's forces, and Savior pushed back with the Psystorms and Scarabs. Savior now just traversing around the middle of the map, trying to find some avenue of weakness in his opponent, some point of weakness where he can make an attack, but really it looks like Savior's also, by the way, in the meantime had taken his mineral-only expansion just north of his base, but Free really with control of this game, and he's just done so much more damage to Savior. Savior losing battle after battle after battle. First the failure to snipe his opponent's base. Essentially after that initial probe harass that Savior did successfully, where he killed about 8 probes in total, I believe, between his Zerglings and his Mutalisks. He killed 8 to 10 probes. Other than that, Savior hasn't really had any victories, even minor ones, in this game, and really Free has won battle after battle and played a great game of StarCraft. Savior looks like he's going to cancel the expansion force. The cancellation of the expansion that Free was building at the secondary of the 6:30 expansion around the 8 o'clock position, but Savior looks like he's now lost. Savior looks like he tried to rebuild that expansion at the 6:30 main, but Free obviously scattered that out and has taken that expansion down. Savior looks like he's going to try and get another attack in at Free's off expo. It's not going to bother Free too much because he doesn't have a lot of minerals left there anyway, so even if Savior kills this, it's not really going to hurt Free too much in terms of his economy at the very least. And Free with the Reaver and the High Templar, Savior managed to kill the Nexus, running away with a couple of Ultralisks, just about surviving, and his Defiler as well. That Defiler is probably going to get taken down, but Savior at least managed to take that Nexus down. It's not going to bother Free too much. I don't think it's bought Savior enough time, and now looks like Free's ready to deliver the hammer blow here at the 6 o'clock expansion of Savior. Savior's got Lurk, Ultralisk, and Zerglings, and really this straight to Ultralisk build just hasn't worked out for Savior. Great interception of the Scourges by Free as well. The Spore Colony obviously forcing Free to drop the Reaver slightly further back than he would have liked to, but he's going to get a comfortable kill here on Savior's 6 o'clock expansion, and really Savior's going to be starved of resources from here on in, and there's not much he can do. He's going to lose this game. He's going to have to accept defeat here and try and pick himself up for game 3. And really, Savior winning or not winning this matchup could mean the difference between a comeback and a not comeback, because wins inspire confidence. They give a player belief in their own abilities once again, and they can start a player on that critical role that they need to get going. Free has been playing some pretty solid StarCraft as well. I'm not sure how well he would have shaped up against the likes of July, the way July is playing right now. Savior, I do feel, has made a couple of mistakes, the big one being committing himself to that attack at Freeze off Expo early on and not killing the Nexus, not focusing the Nexus down when he had bunches of Zerglings. And then the other mistake being that while he had Free locked in into his almost his secondary and maybe even in the off expo for a long period of time with his Mutilus early on, he didn't take advantage of that to put another hatchery down, and that I think probably is what's made the difference in the long run in this game. Free is just swarming all over the map, now building himself an expansion at the 630 expansion. He's got 3 shuttles with Reavers loaded up. Savior trying to hold on in this game, cling on, and he's just going to probably try and stay alive for a little bit longer, but he really should surrender. He's trying to rebuild his expansion at the secondary of the 1 o'clock expansion, but really there's very little Savior can do in this game to come back and take this game from Free. Savior looks like he's pulled something away in those Overlords. I'm not sure what it was he loaded up in there. Free looks like he's morphing a couple more Archons just in his main. Free looks like he's mined out in his main. Savior pretty much mined out in his main, as well as I would say his secondary is probably close to being mined out. He's managed to get that expansion up at the 1 o'clock base, I think probably at the 1 o'clock and the 1 o'clock secondary, and that's probably why he's staying in this game, because he has those expansions up and Free hasn't scouted them yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. Free still has those observers, I believe, positioned in the middle of the map, and it's only a matter of Savior getting a plague off on a few photon cannons and a pylon. I don't think it's going to bother Free too much. Yeah, Savior has got the expansion up at the 1 o'clock base, but it's only a matter of time before Free scouts it and sends some units up there and kills that expansion. And I'm surprised that Free hasn't found it yet. It looks like Free now might be ready to make a move in that direction. He's got a force of about 6 Archons, 3 shuttles loaded with probably Reavers as well as forces, and it looks like he's going to take out Savior, trying to catch those shuttles off guard, trying to intercept, but those Archons are going to make it difficult for Savior's Scourges to get in. Savior looks like he got the Scourges within the shuttles, but I didn't see if one of the shuttles got picked off by Savior or not. No, the 3 shuttles are still alive, and I think Savior probably lost a couple of Scourges in the process as well. He's still got 2 Scourges left, and he just doesn't have the force, doesn't have anything to withstand the power of the attack that's now going to be unleashed by Free at that 1 o'clock expansion. Really, this is going to kill Savior. Savior with another drop, trying to do some damage to Free's economy with the Overlords, but Free is just casually going to be able to take that expansion down. Savior killing some of Free's forces at that off expo, and Savior continue to focus on that off expo, but really Free's got the entire left hand side of the map, and it's not going to bother him if Savior and Savior, most of his forces getting taken off by storms. Savior committing what little forces he had, he realized that he couldn't defend his expo, so he just decided to go for a counter. I believe he would have been better off if he'd actually focused his attack on this expansion that he's going for now. It looks like he's attacking the secondary off that, he's taking a lot of damage from the off expo, off that 5 o'clock expansion. He's finally managed to close it. He's managed to take out some of the photon cannons that had been plagued earlier. He's managed to kill the Reaver there. The storms have been used up, so Savior might actually be able to do some decent damage. Free, meanwhile, leaving I think a single Archon to probably a couple of Archons and Zealots to deal with that expansion. I think initially it almost mentioned Savior GG's, realizing there's no hope. There was no hope for a while there. Comfortable victory for Free in that game. Savior had a chance in that game, played a decent early game, but